I'm actually sat here now, and I'm the most successful Great British amateur in GB history. There's no one achieved what I've achieved in the amateur boxing, but I never believed in myself once. When I dropped it there was not normal. I'll never forget the day I came back into Hull from the Olympics and I was met by 20,000 people. And I just thought, wouldn't it be nice to give back to the community? I said, that'd be some story, wouldn't it? The next thing I know, I'm in London having lunch with Nigel and some of the team and that, and asking me to see if I want to run for mayor. The leaders that are in charge currently, they've give very little to the people and they've done nothing. My dad passed away 2 weeks before that fight. That fight probably sticks out in my mind as my most difficult fight of my career.
Was your dad a big influence on you as well?
Oh, massively, yeah. I got a flash knockdown in the second round. I thought, Luke, you're embarrassing yourself. And I felt like I had my dad in the ring with me.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I got up from that round, and I won every round since.
Yeah.
And I still give it to him.
Luke Campbell, welcome to the Greatest On Demand podcast, mate.
Thanks for having me.
How you doing?
Yeah, good, you?
Good, I'm good. Dino, welcome back with a tan.
Yeah, just come back from Tenerife, absolutely knackered I am.
Should have brought you some lotion for your forehead, mate.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah?
Definitely jealous of that tan.
Too many holidays in.
It's
He's just come back from a cruise
it's a
and
big
go straight to
forward.
Tenerife. Yeah, it's an alright life for
So I
some.
know I've got Luke on.
Luke.
Hull legend.
Yeah, two Hull lads, excited for this.
Yeah.
Look, Luke, before we dive into it and unpack your story, as we ask everyone at the start of this podcast, is how would you define greatness? What do you believe are the key characteristic traits that can make someone great?
I mean, it's a great question. For what my best feature was and my biggest attribute was, you know, that to somebody else might have not been so important if there was more naturally gifted in other areas. But for me, my biggest talent was my discipline and dedication. But like I say, if to someone else that's defined greatness, it might have been something different. But I think nowadays it's happiness, isn't it?
Yeah, without a doubt.
You know?
So. And happiness can be found in many different traits, can't they, and things. I love it when you say that discipline, because I think that's one thing that, obviously you coming from boxing, we'll get into it in a moment, I think discipline is quite forgotten with your day-to-day people, if you like. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what annoys me? When people say, oh, he's so talented, but he's just not disciplined. Like, he's so naturally talented and he could have done this and he could have done that, or she could have done this, but they're just not disciplined. I'm like, well, what do you think talent is?
It's discipline.
It's having
Dedicated.
discipline.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it frustrates me a little bit.
You can have all the ability in the world, but if you toss it off, then
Yeah.
it just doesn't work, does it?
Yeah, I think it's those breakthrough moments, isn't it, which we'll get into in a moment, but I love that. I'm a big believer in that. Is, like I said, things take time, but time is what people don't see. And it's the discipline to actually break through those moments of highs and lows, to actually then be able to, like you said, create their talent. Because, like you said, you can have a talent, but, you know, many people, from a footballer, from a boxer, whoever, but this talent, but then these the ones that, as we call great or go to another level, is more than likely just continuing to, you know, do the same thing over and over again from a basic point of view to get better, faster, stronger, whatever it may be, and that's discipline, right?
You need that mindset to keep wanting to repeat it, to keep going over it, and just to think about it constantly, and just to get yourself up, motivate yourself, and go outside by yourself or whatever you're doing, and keep doing it.
Yeah.
You know.
So take us back then to your roots. Take us back to Hull. Take us back to the moments of your environment. Like, what were your environment like growing up? You know, where were you brought up in Hull? What shaped you then to become who you are today?
I was brought up in West Hull, just off Boulevard. I was just your average kid. Wasn't really good at anything. Didn't excel anything. School I struggled with because I'm dyslexic, so I really struggled to read and write in school. But yeah, I found boxing at the age of 13. Something I always wanted to do, but I couldn't tell you why. You know, walked into the gym, speaking to the coaches, saying, how many rounds are they doing on the bag? And they said, they're doing 3. I was like, that's easy, 3 rounds, you know. So got some gloves on and give it a go. So I did. 30 seconds later, I was sat on the ring, huffing and puffing, couldn't get my breath, and I'm like, well, that 3 rounds is much harder than I thought. You know, and it went from there. Like, I picked the skipping rope up, watched the other boxers in there skipping, and I tried giving it a go, and I thought, God, I'm never going to be able to skip. And then it literally just, from the day I went in, I had that passion of wanting to be better every every day.
What did your parents think that when you wanted to go into a boxing? Because obviously protecting you, your mum and dad protecting you.
Do you know what? They left it all up to me.
Did they? Yeah.
So like they just said, just like whatever you want to do. I was playing rugby at the time, so I was playing for Westall.
Yeah.
I was a second row, and I played second row and centre for Westall, and you know, I was all right. I wasn't very good. I was okay, but it never really got the grip of me, the team effort thing. But then when I went into boxing and it was just on me, you know, I started to thrive more in that environment. You know, as good as it is when you get that win, you take all the glory. But on the opposite side, if you lose, you know, you take the full. You're on your own. You take the full loss as well. So I kind of liked that about it. But yeah, I was just. I grew when I was going through school. Then it come to where everyone's going out earning money, and I started knocking on people's doors, asking them to clean the drive. Can I clean your gutters? Can I wash your, you know, the pavement in front of your house and everything like that? Just trying to, and it got to a point where I was maybe out digging all day, and I was going for a run before I went out to work, and it come to the point where I just thought, oh, I can't be asked to go to the gym when I got in from work. I was just knackered, and I thought, oh, boxing's becoming a chore. So I thought, right, I said to myself, you got a decision to make now. You're either forget the going out earning money and working and just concentrate on boxing and go without, or forget boxing and just start working and trying to earn yourself some money.
Yeah.
And I chose to give up work and go without and just concentrate on my boxing. And I think that was a massive turning point for myself. Because it could have easily gone the other way, where you see all your friends are out, they're earning money, and I had nothing. And it got to a certain point where I was then doing GB camps Monday to Thursday every week. But I think up until I was about 22, 23 years old, I was on £650 a month. And after I'd paid my bills and my rent, I had like £30 a month to myself to spend. That was it. So I was always very smart and sort of seen it as a challenge that, you know, I get £30 to myself a month. Like, I'm playing this as a game now.
Yeah.
It's to spend as least as possible, have as least bills going out as possible. And even then, out of that £30 a month to myself, I'd be saving 15 of it or 20. You know, I was putting that away. But yeah, I didn't earn any. Like I said, I was on £650 until I was 23. And then when I was 24, I won the silver medal in the World Championships in Baku. And then I was on top funding from there. So I went to £2,200 a month on top funding. But that was 11 months before the Olympics. So I was only on top funding like a year before.
Wow.
But I'd already won the European Championships, what was in Liverpool. I was the first man to win that title in 47 years for Great Britain. I'd already won massive tournaments, but none of them put my funding up. I stayed on the same funding. And then we went to this tournament. I remember this new kid come in, and he got I got a hard draw. I won a fight. I think I won 2 fights. Then I was boxing the Turk for the bronze medal in Turkey. And if I'd have beat him, my funding would have gone up. But they robbed me blind against this Turk. Absolutely robbed me blind. And then this new kid had come in. Bearing in mind, I'd been to like 6 tournaments on the bounce and won gold in every one of them. I was like undefeated in the last 30 fights in tournaments abroad. And then this new kid had come out of nowhere. He got a bye, and then he boxed some country I've never heard of, and it was a weak opponent. And he was on more than me funding wise.
Wow. And
I thought, I've been fighting for England the last 3 years, won God knows how many gold medals for him.
Yeah.
And then this kid's on more funding than me.
Or was your coach Luke, or was it
the guys
from Hull? Yeah, who sort of recognised that you had a bit of a talent. And...
So I started off at Fish Trades from round the corner.
Yeah.
I had my first 9 fights. I only won 3. So then from there, I moved from Fish Trades and went to St Paul's.
Yeah.
Which head coach there was Mike Bromby.
Yeah.
And still is today. And then I started progressing in St Paul's. So I started doing well in St Paul's. I remember like the first ever championships I had with St Paul's, I got stopped in the second round by the Yorkshire champion kid. come the year after, oh God, that kid's there again. He's in my category.
Oh, fuck.
It's Yorkshire. He stopped me last year in the second round because he was already a national champion.
Yeah.
And I've got him. I've drawn him first. God. Anyhow, I went in there and absolutely battered him.
Did you really?
Yeah, battered him. And then got to the final.
Did your mindset shift from then as well? In knowing that you've just beat the kid, which what? Because is this at the moment as well when things are stacked against you from people's payments going up, like you said earlier, and you're thinking, why is it happening for me, or all these things? And then when you go in and you beat someone who's previously beaten you, it can play mind games, right? So
as a young kid, didn't think that much, which was probably the best thing for me. Because I look back now and thinking, wow, out of my first 10 fights, I only won like 3. I had 9 in my first season. I'm like, how did I carry on? You know, but I just kept my head down and kept wanting to improve and wanting to be better.
Yeah.
And I kept going and kept pushing, and you know, I was taking the losses on the chin. And every time I come home upset from a fight, like, oh, I lost another fight, and I was crying and upset, and my parents just said, well, what did you learn? So I said, well, he kept it. I got caught a few times with the right hand, so it was like, well, learn how to defend the right hand.
Brilliant.
Then.
Brilliant.
So then I'd go home, so I'd go back in the gym, and then I'd be sort of practicing to learn how to defend the right hand, or come home from another fight. Did you get beat? Got beat. I was so tired, and like, well, what did you need to work on? Well, I was tired. Well, work on your fitness.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So every time I lost, instead of seeing it as a defeat,
It's a lesson.
and I just used to use it as a lesson.
Yeah.
Oh, well, what have I learned? I've learned I need to defend the right hand better. I've learned my fitness needs to improve. I've learned not to eat a crisp sandwich and drink a can of Coke 10 minutes before going into the ring. You know, so I just.
But that's sacrifice, though, isn't it? That's the word sacrifice I use a lot on here, don't I?
Yeah.
You got to sacrifice your life to, like, have that greatness of going, because everybody thinks it's just handed on the plate to you.
Yeah.
And nobody sees. That's why I love these podcasts where people don't see that.
No.
People don't see that we're getting up training every day. They just see you playing football on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, boxing. Do you know what I mean?
It's because if you look at you when we get into it in your professional career, you've always seemed like a real good pro. Like everyone's seen you, and I've seen you.
I tried to be a perfectionist.
Yeah, and I'm getting that
technique.
now. Yeah, so that's obviously you, and no one's instilled that in you.
Yeah.
You've done that from previous.
Yeah.
So where does that come from? Is it just you always wanting to be better?
Again, I just was like, every time I was going to the gym,
Because there's an obsession, with it, isn't there?
I wanted to be a sponge. Like I'm saying to myself in my head, like, look, be a sponge. Try and take it, absorb all the information in that's getting you. But on the other side of that, the flip side of that, that can also be my downfall. Because if I had a bad coach that was giving me the wrong information, I'd go downhill.
Okay,
because
so
I'm
how
learning bad things.
Right, okay.
So how do you choose what information you listen to then?
I used to question, like, all the coaches that was in Hull, they all used to say, look, he used to question us about everything. Like, 'cause one coach would be saying, right, I want you to jab there, then step this and throw that. I'd be like, why? Well, because I've asked you to do it. Yeah, no, but why? Why do that?
Yeah.
Why are you saying do it that way? Like, I wasn't being disrespectful in trying to bring them down. I was just wanted to learn. Like, why step back and why not do it this way, or why throw it like that and stuff like that. And I was like, just used to question about everything, and most of them would probably thought I was just being a bit cheeky.
Did them coaches like you questioning that? Because
some of them didn't, some of them did.
Yeah,
some of them would just laugh it off and say, Luke is a little perfectionist, and then give me a little clip on the head. But I'm still friends with them all today. Yeah. And they always say, you used to question me all the time. But I think they liked it.
But then you're educating them as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And they used to, they look back now and laugh and joke about it.
I'm glad you asked about that.
Yeah, it's like, Luke, one thing he always did was he always used to ask why about everything. Yeah. At the time, they probably thought, being cheeky.
But would he say that? Would that coach say to them young kids? Because you're the role model.
They
do you know what I mean?
To their young.
That's what Luke Campbell used to ask us.
Yeah, he used
why
to
am this? So if you've got anything to ask, don't be afraid to ask.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So they laugh about it now, and then they can say that they took part in my career, helped me get on my journey, and they say, one thing about Luke was he was always the first there, he was always the last one out, and he always asked questions non-stop.
Yeah.
They'll all say the same thing. But it's not just going into the gym and doing that. It's then going home, getting early nights.
Yeah.
I'm going out with my friends. They've all been to pizza shop. I didn't have no pizza or takeaway because I wanted to eat healthy.
Yeah.
We get to 18, we start going out around town, seeing girls, whatever else. I'd be stood there with a bottle of water. They'd all be drinking. You know, coming up to my first lads' holiday. And bearing in mind that I had no money to my name whatsoever. I was booked to go on holiday for my first holiday ever with the boys. Looking forward to it. I mean, I would have gone on that holiday and not drunk as well. I'd have just been on water the whole time. And then I get a letter from the England camp inviting me down to Crystal Palace for a training camp and then, you know, maybe a tournament after it. And it was in the day I was going on holiday. So I'm like, good. So I cancelled the holiday. I lost my £100 deposit, which to me it was a lot of money. Yeah. So I lost that. And then I thought, right, I've got to do the England camp. And then as the date got closer, got another letter, and the England camp had been cancelled. Oh. So I didn't even go on the England camp. But this is just one of the tiny little things, that sacrifices that you think that I made as a young kid growing up. I thought, I'd lost my deposit. All my friends have gone away. They're all having a great time. I sacrificed that to go on this. Then that cancelled. You know,
it's building character, isn't it?
Yeah, and then I'm on, like, for my 16th birthday, I was out in Durham on a training camp. You know, hard sparring some of the guys down there, and I'm like, you know, no one's saying happy birthday to me, and you know, I was on my own. You know, no one give me a cake or blow out some candles or give me a pat on the back. I was just by myself, and it was my 16th birthday, but then I was away from my 18th birthday again, some tournament or training camp. I just give it everything.
This is why I love doing this pod. Like, even just in the first opening here, like, I'm sorry I'm buzzing just hearing this, because like I told you off camera, so I'm a business mentor for business owners, and the going back to what you said, why I always say to who I'm mentoring, I think it's important, first of all, that you need a mentor in your life, but I also think it's important that if you have a good mentor, you've still got to question the information that's being given to you. So I always say to, like, the business owners who I help to scale their businesses is, I'll give you information knowing a system that works for you, whether it be market, sales, operations. But for you as the business owner, it's not to be handed something and then just think it's going to work. It's questioning the reason behind it. Because I think the more you question things of what you are doing, it builds a bigger character. But then you start to question then even more information that you gather later on in your life and know what's right and what's wrong. But then at the same time, like you say, I feel like when you do question things in your life, when you hit the harder times, even then you're questioning the reason behind. Why are you sacrificing, you know, your holiday with the lads when you could be having all these things that we all do day to day?
Yeah.
And there's a bigger purpose, but at that time you didn't even know the purpose of it.
No.
So, like, if we fast forward now and we think about it, going to 2012 Olympics, you've got to think, like what you've just told us, I'm sure many haven't even heard this, is that build up to them is what is the part of the Olympics when you get to that stage now that people don't see, that they don't show in the media behind the scenes. Like when you're at that, when you've now got there, Luke, you're now an Olympian, ready to fight for a gold medal. Like, what's going on behind the scenes that nobody sees and the media don't talk about?
I think what's sad in my head, like, I'm actually sat here now, and I'm the most successful Great British amateur in GB history. There's no one achieved what I've achieved in the amateur boxing. But I never believed in myself once. Mad that, innit? I was never confident in my ability. It's so strange.
Did it change when you stepped in the ring then? When you're ready to go and ready to actually put the thing into action?
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Obviously, a flip switches then, but yeah, I never sort of believed in myself and never realised I was that good as I was.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just always downplayed it myself, and then like turn pro, and you look at these Americans, and they're giving it all big uns, and they're saying this and they're saying that, and I'm like, you're actually no good, but. You know, some are, don't get me wrong, but even the ones that are, and they've shown all the confidence and I never had that.
But it's probably that just your personality.
Yeah, probably is, yeah.
And when you're fighting in the Olympics and you're in that, you know, you're amongst boxers, because is it right that when you're in the village, you're amongst the people that you're going to be fighting as well, potentially later on in the coming days?
Oh, for sure, yeah. You're in
What's
the village.
going on there? Are you playing mind games with anyone at the time or anything? Or are you just focused solely on what you've got to do?
The village was that big. Like, you've not just got boxing. It's not just boxing.
Yeah, there's runners, sprint, there's everything, yeah.
you've got every sport in there, and all the countries as well. So like, I'm sat having breakfast with Giggsy in the morning. You know.
Yeah, we do Wales football.
Yeah, the football lads and that are in there. So like, I didn't really see my opponents out and about, but just say if we was in the championships in somewhere else, in say Baku or something, would be eating in the same hall, and you walk past your opponent, so you think, oh, I could be fighting him next, or there's a guy I'm fighting tomorrow, you know, and you just, I don't know, it's what you just.
And did you believe that you could win the gold at the time before you actually got to the fight? Did you believe in yourself then? Did you believe as you were going through the fights before you got to the final that potentially actually I'm better than these?
I had confidence, but you know, it was all about taking one day at a time. And you know, some of the mechanisms that I used, that are off my own back, that I created in my own head, like you see influencers nowadays on social media trying to teach you it, and I'm like, I'd learned to do that without anyone teaching me it. Like about being in the moment, being as present as possible, not thinking about the past fights, not thinking too much about the future. You know, about really being in the moment and certain these things, and even like they tell you to visualize it and you know, manifest it, and it comes to you. Well, I would say that happened to me really, because the 10 years before the Olympics, I'd see myself stood on the Olympic podium getting the gold medal put on me, and I'd be crying. Literally, I'd just be sat here crying as a young kid, thinking of that moment. And then that moment did come true for me.
Yeah.
So I probably did manifest it, and a lot, without even knowing I was even supposed to do it. Yeah. It's so funny because I watch things now on Instagram and the social medias and TikTok and say about manifest it, you know. But everything's about money, innit? Yeah. Manifest all this money and blah, blah, blah. And I thought, well, mine was just about stood on the Olympic podium and where I was getting a gold medal put round my neck, and you know, I'd be crying in that moment and things like that, and that happened to me. You know, exactly what I'd dreamed of, and that image that I had in my head was the same image of when I stood on the podium and I was crying.
Luke, like, you're Olympic gold medalist, mate. Like, it's, the more you say it, it's crazy. Think how many millions of people is in the world who
where's the gold medal now?
It's actually in my
Locked
office.
up. Yeah, it's locked up. It's in the safe.
I've lost it about 3 times.
Is it? They said, look, I've heard Frank Lampard talk about when he had his moment wanting to win Champions League, then, and you'll be able to jump in here and relate to football. Like, when you win it, it didn't give him that high he thought it were going to give him at the time. And I suppose everyone's different. But, and even a question to you, did you, when you got the playoffs, did you ever get to that moment where they've put the gold medal around you and you thought, this is amazing, but then the day after you're like, do you know what I mean?
Can't believe I've
just done that. Or what were the feelings and emotions going on?
I mean, after the Olympics...
Did you go from high to low at any point?
I never had a low. I was just floating on cloud 9, really.
You knew you were going to go pro.
Not even taking in, trying to take in, but not absorbing what's just gone on. Because for years it was like the coaches, win this fight, Luke, your life's going to change.
Yeah.
And it never did.
No.
I win that fight, nothing ever changed.
Yeah.
Win this fight, Luke, your funding's going to go up, you know, and think your life's going to start changing. You know, that's going to put you on this path. Never did.
See, I never chased the money, mate.
See, as a pro, I did.
Did you?
Because I thought that's what pros are all about.
Right.
I fight for money.
Right.
I don't fight for... I'm not fighting for titles. I'm fighting for money.
Yeah.
Isn't fighting for money with more added pressure, though? Because then you know that if you're not to win that fight, what does money bring? It brings different picture in your head of lifestyle, funding for the kids. I know you've got kids and, you know, they're missing stuff. So does it not add more pressure of focusing on for money?
I just had a completely different mentality from turning from amateur to pro. I loved the amateurs. The Olympics was always my dream. The professional wasn't. I'd never dreamed once about being a champion and going on being successful in the pro game. It was, I just had a different mindset. I thought, well, I'm fighting for money, so I want to try and earn as much money. Now all the promises and everybody says, you win this next fight, Luke, your life will change. All them that probably ended up influencing me later down the line, I thought, well, nothing ever has, but now I can fight for money.
Now I can fight for money, yeah.
Now things will start changing. Yeah. And when I come out the Olympics, the first thing I bought with the first bit of money I got, I bought my mum a new kitchen and tiled her house and plastered all the walls for her.
Yeah,
That's
nice.
the first penny I ever spent from leaving the Olympics.
Nice. Give
So,
back.
yeah.
Unbelievable, mate. So when you went into the pro game and you fought so many competition, like, you know, I'm a big boxing fan. I watched, like I said to you earlier down at the calf, watching you fight with Lomachenko was stressing me out. It was just like a chess match. I'm a big boxing fan, so I understood, like, yeah, it just, and I can imagine the pressure that you were feeling at the time, because it was just a mental game. Obviously, you fought Linares, and then you fought Garcia. Fighting at that top level of those type of opponents, Luke, because they are top echelon, and you were amongst that. What would you say you learned from those kind of fights, fighting people like Lomachenko and Garcia and Linares?
I thought I didn't really get much option when I fought Linares. It was like, you fight Linares.
Your life will change.
No, it was rather
It never
fight
did.
him or
Never
fight
did.
somebody else for terrible money. But I always picked who's paying me the most money. What opponent will you get the most if you fight that guy? Oh, well, I'll fight him then.
Yeah.
That was it. So give me 3 opponents. Who's paying the most? Linares.
Really?
All
So
right.
you never choose the route of going down like the WBC, WBA?
No,
and
I said
thinking
who's
to get a
paying the
belt?
most?
Oh, wow.
Linares. All right, I'll fight him then.
Right.
But I thought I beat Linares, and so did a lot of other people.
Yeah.
And they give it to him on a split, and it was never a split.
No.
I won 7 clean rounds out of that fight
I know we watched it.
convincingly.
I'm stressing as a whole. I wanted you to win as well.
And Linares knew he was very, very lucky to get that, to get it thrown his way, because I spoke to him last year. But yeah, my dad passed away 2 weeks before that fight, and I was in Miami. So that fight probably sticks out in my mind as my most difficult fight of my career.
Was your dad a big influence on you as well?
Oh, massively, yeah, massively.
How so?
Just he'd get involved. He'd pick me up from the gym. He'd take me for runs. He'd give me little circuits to do in the garden before I'd go to the gym. Like, you know, he was the one that believed in me from day dot.
The biggest fan.
Like, I'd be watching the amateur boxers on TV, you know, when I just started boxing, and then my dad would be like, "You'll be Olympic champ one day, you." I'd be like, "Shut up, Dad."
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's what he'd say.
Yeah, my mum was saying.
And 2 weeks just before that fight, your dad passing away. And I want to touch on this because I've said it on the podcast for you earlier, and I told you the story about my dad when he had his brain infection. They put him in critical ward. He said he wouldn't come through. Luckily, touch wood, he came through, and he's well now. And my dad's my hero. So when you lose someone so significant in your life like that, but then even going to a big fight like that 2 weeks, like what's going on mentally there?
I don't
for you?
think I could have done it.
Yeah, I don't think I could.
Well, if I'd have had a proper team, the problem with me with 80% of my career, I didn't have a proper team around me.
And what do you mean by that?
I didn't have people around me that looked after me, that cared for me, that wanted the best for me. It was only in the last part of my career when I joined Shane McGuigan is when I finally felt like, oh, so they're actually teaching me professional boxing.
They care about.
And they care about you, and you've got a solid team around you that take care of your needs. You know, from the boxing side of things, they're with you all the time, from the strength and conditioning. Like, it was a proper unit. I never had that. I never had once anyone behind me looking after me. You know, it was always all the decisions was always on me. So yeah, I went through 80% of my career, not even having a proper correct team around me, which is sad to say. And that had probably the biggest
Was that
advice.
the lowest point? Obviously, when I lost my dad, we spoke about it in the car on the way down. You know, it broke me really.
Yeah. Oh, massively. I was having panic attacks and everything. But like you say, going back to the team, if I'd have had someone around me, they would have said, "Look, I'm pulling your fight. You can't do it. You're an emotional mess."
Yeah.
I was having panic attacks, but I was away from all my family, so I was on my own. You know, I was over in Miami doing the training camp, and then going out to California from there, and I had no one around me supporting me to say, like, "Look, I'm pulling you from this fight, mate. You're a million miles off."
So what would happen in
mentally."
that time? You'd train and then just go back to hotel and you're just all alone again with your own head and mindset? Even
More
with
or
all
less,
this stuff
yeah.
going on with your dad passing away?
Yeah, I'd even be
Wow.
fighting with myself in my head, thinking, I wonder how I'm going to be today in the gym, in sparring. Like, am I going to be a mess? I'm going to start crying behind my gloves when I'm hitting the bag. Just all sorts of things
What
like
was your obviously they've been worried about your mum as well at the time.
I mean, they all had family at home, I was on my own.
Yeah.
So I didn't tell anyone. So I didn't tell no one, but I was trying to act like it had not happened. Which then probably put me in a worse position in life because I didn't grieve.
Yeah.
So, it put me in a worse position later in life.
I grieved by the bottle. I drank just to block out all the shit that was going on.
Yeah.
Do you know? And I think that people deal with it in different ways.
Yeah.
I wish I'd have dealt with it like you, because I ended up in rehab for depression. But people did, like, I know different personalities. And when I were both Hull lads, and he got a golden telephone box, I got fuck all. You know what I mean? But
you know, people think that's actually mine.
I know, yeah. No, I was
People
just
think that
thinking,
they're putting 20 pence in
20
my phone.
we used to see him in town and go, "Look, Campbell's got on the telephone box." That.
Great place, wasn't it? Right outside the Dole office.
Yeah, right out.
Is that where it is?
Outside the Dole office.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, near
You said you had no money at the time, so maybe that's what the point was. You know what I mean?
I should have put a letter on there.
No, but like,
please,
people.
Here's a little pot.
People deal with it differently. I swear on my dad's life now, if it had been alive, I couldn't fucking fight. Not
a chance. Like you said, I dealt with it the same as you. So this is even before my dad passed. Like when he were in only Pinderfield in Wakefield, just down the road from here, it was, you know, for me, my head went, and I was hiding it from family. So I was drinking bottles of whiskey and putting it under. And if it weren't for Ruth, my fiance, finally understanding what I was doing, I'd have been, I wouldn't have been able to do what you did, mate. And I think it's important. I'm going to ask that question because I'm interested in the sport of boxing. And with the sport of boxing, there's a lot of fucking bullshit that comes with it at the same time. And what I mean by that is, what I think from the outside in is, you've got to think it is a business. You work in business. I work in business. Business is brutal at times. Do you think a lot of promoters at the time, and this is your opinion because you were around at the time, so based on what you said there, do you think a lot of promoters and the team, it was more for their own interests rather than your interests?
100%.
And do you think that's all just because of money driven?
All the promoters, two sides are two evils, if you want the truth, because they give you the opportunities and the pay, you know, and if you're doing well, then, you know, they pay you. But then on the opposite side of things is that they're earning more money than you and they're not even getting in the ring. So they've got, but listen, it is what it is. It's business. Like, good promoters, they've got to earn money too, don't get me wrong. But yeah, it's promoters they don't want to lose money on a fighter, do they? So like, if you ain't got a promoter, if you're a boxer and you ain't got a promoter backing you, it's hard game. Like, you're working all hours. You're spending a load of money on training, on eating right, on physios, and then when you're coming up to a fight, you're getting paid next to nothing, or you're getting paid basically on how many tickets you sell. And if you're not a big knockout artist or you don't sell tickets, oh God, it's such a hard slog. Boxing, it's such a hard sport. So, but when you've got a promoter behind you, you've got to impress. You've got to, you're on TV. You've got to show your skills. It's an hard game. So basically, if you're not already a big name, and you're not a knockout artist, or you can't sell hundreds, 1,000 tickets or whatever else, it's
tough.
Yeah, promoters want people that can make them money. Which is course, that's just the name of the game. It's sport. Yeah. Sport's brutal across all sports. It's all about performance. And if you're not performing, that's it. You're gone. You're kicked. You're gone. Same with foot. I mean, I've seen a little bit of the football side through one of my sons playing football, and it's simple as, if you're not performing, you're gone. And you see a lot of parents upset and whatever else, but it's just sport. Yeah. That's all what it comes down to. If you can perform and you're doing great, everybody loves you.
But I think,
I've been through it both sides, where I'm not performing, no one's talking to you, no one's loving you.
You've forgotten about.
But then all of a sudden you start winning a lot of fights, and you're performing. Everybody's your mate. Everybody's Luke. Everyone's
life, isn't it?
You. I've been on both ends of it, so I know. But listen, it's not personal to me. It's just the job role I'm in. It's just the job role that gets the appraisal, that gets the shit, that takes whatever, the good and the bad. It's the job role. Now I'm not in that job role. I don't get the appraisal. I don't get the shit.
Yeah.
You know.
But I think it's
just
tough
a
in
job
boxing
role.
though, Luke, because like you said, I totally get where you're coming from. It's a job, and they need to eat too, from a promoter sense. But you think about it, you described it like alongside football, and I get that. But football, you're playing an opportunity to week in, week out, potentially playing a Saturday and then playing a Tuesday and earn your stripes again. Boxing, you've got a camp for like 6-8 weeks. You might not have fought 6 months earlier, especially when you're going into your bigger fights. So this is where I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, there's no compassion when it comes to the boxing though, at the top end of that, is there? Because it's like you, when you're passing away your dad, you'd think, as a promoter, as a boxing promoter at that time, money or not, you'd fucking pull that fight, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I would, personally,
Yeah.
because you're looking at your fight, you're protecting, and do you know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to get at.
No, I think that's a really good, valid point. And looking at it, it's like you could say, like, oh, I guess if my promoter cared about me, he wouldn't want me to go into that fight. He'd pull it. But I'm a business transaction to them, and that's fine. I'm fine with that. I understand the process. I don't need the promoter to care for me in that respects.
But your dad's passed
don't
away,
get me
Luke.
wrong. It would be nice if they said, you know what, we've got to pull this fight.
That's what I mean.
If you are my fighter,
If they would
I'm
have
your
done that,
promoter.
Luke, if they would have done that, would you have gone, no problem?
I'd have gone with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have done if someone was. But as a fighter, I'm proud, so I can't make that decision because I've got to fight. But if someone said to me, "Nah, listen, I'm pulling it. You're not right. We need to go
I
home.
know
We need
that
to be
you're
with
in-
the
you're in-
family."
you're in the-
I would have happily have just gone. All right.
Okay.
You say like that, you're in a mental health state now. So you're in a mental health state, you're grieving, but
Yeah.
you're not showing people that you're grieving.
No.
So when you're in that thingy, was you thinking about your dad when you was
fine.
fighting?
So I got a flash knockdown in the second round.
Okay, I'm getting emotional here, by the way.
So
I know, yeah.
I missed a hook.
I think it's good to listen, isn't it?
I missed a hook, right?
Yeah.
And I leant too far back, and I missed a hook. And he followed through and hit me with a big right hand, and he knocked me on my ass. I was fine, but he knocked me on the ass. And then when I got up, I thought, "Fuck, you're fucking embarrassing yourself here, Luke." Sorry, I was
No,
swearing.
you can swear.
I thought, Luke, you're embarrassing yourself, and I felt like I had my dad in the ring with me.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I got up from that round, and I won every round since.
Yeah.
And I still give it to him. What can you do?
Fucking hell, mate. You're a good man. I think we ain't cried on this pod yet, and I fucking got it myself.
You've got me going.
Because we're all so connected to us dads, aren't we?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just, and we're just all,
Funny.
we know each one, we're chatting. People don't see us off camera. They watch a podcast and they just see what they see on camera. They don't see behind the scenes how we are and what we're talking. We're just fucking human, aren't we? That's why I love this pod.
Yeah. When you get into it and deep and you start.
Yeah,
you
but
start
I think that's
tapping into,
needed. But mate, it's needed.
emotions and
But it's
stuff,
needed
but-
because we're fucking human, Luke, and
Yeah,
that's the
it
thing
was-
that people are trying to hold back from is showing emotion. That, especially from a man's point of view, we talk about it a lot in mental health, in not wanting to cry or not wanting to talk, and it's bullshit.
Do you know what? As much as I was gutted at the end of the fight that they didn't give me the win, what I thought I deserved, I wasn't even asked. I just thought, I just want to grieve now.
Yeah.
I just want to
Just
cry.
want to go home, yeah.
Because I've stopped myself crying for the last 2 weeks. I thought, I just want to cry.
Yeah, I just want to go home.
I want to tell someone.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
But that's why I said about the pro thing, because it does. It infuriates me in a way, because, like I said, there's no fucking compassion shown. I don't care if it's been sort of like, we're all human, and there were no. I like I said, no one would have seen that, knowing that
No.
you're in that 2 weeks and
If
you're on
I'd
your
have
own.
told my promoter that, because obviously they found out, but I just said, listen, don't tell no one.
Were you worried to tell them that you'd want to pull it yourself as well?
I didn't mention that. I think the first thing they would have thought was, oh fuck, I might be out of this fight. And then when I said I'm still fighting, I bet they thought, whew.
Yeah.
Instead of actually
music's
thinking,
my
do you
ears,
know
like,
what, mate? Don't worry about it. We'll get you another one.
Yeah, you get another one, yeah.
Yeah.
Fast forward. Sorry, what were you going to say?
No, go on, you're right.
I'm going to fast forward to the fight with Garcia. I stayed up late. It was in January, if I'm right and correct in thinking. Like first week of Jan, wasn't it, I think, against Garcia?
It was.
Followed a lot of your fights, watched a lot of them. And when I set up for that fight, I think it was the second round you dropped him. Our last will tell you, because Brock would have been 2 at the time. 3 years ago, wasn't it? 4 years ago.
Yeah.
4 years ago, yeah. So it'd have been 1 going 2. So I screamed like the house. Brock's asleep and he woke up. So I sort of baby him on it crying. So what's going on? He's fucking dropped him. And as you're going through those rounds, and then obviously round 7 he caught you with that body shot. after the fight, we know the headlines were like Garcia doing peds and all these things. Like, this is my opinion, I'm allowed to say it. Do you think at the time, after when you reflect on that fight, because he looked bigger than he was, like, that could have been potentially going on there as well when you were fighting him?
Oh, I mean, all I'm saying is that when I dropped him in the second, he was out, he was asleep. All I'm saying is that I ain't never seen anyone bounce back up and recover like that in boxing. What he did there was not normal. And then obviously after the fight, his drug test disappeared, vanished, and yeah. And then I believe he went on holiday away because he was suffering mentally. He went away. Obviously, it's a good way to go away on holiday. No one can get to you. No one can test you. That's all I'm saying on that.
Yeah.
You know. But I think it'd be very unlucky just to get found out the first time he ever juiced. But it is like I don't have any proof to say he was. I don't have any evidence to say he wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. Just opinion on.
But
Yeah. You're just going on what's.
I'm just going on the two facts, what I've seen in front of my eyes.
And what's happened previously now with against Haney.
Yeah, I you know, yeah, I'm sure it might have been more fights, you know, that they've gone through. But all I'm saying was the fight with me is that I ain't never seen anyone get it like that and recover as quick as that. Never.
So there's a difference in amateur and pro in regards to how professional it is, though, isn't it? Even though they call it the pro game, because like when you're in the Olympics as an amateur, that drug test wouldn't have gone missing.
Oh no, never in a million years. Never in a million years my drug test would have gone missing. I did 4 drug tests just in camp. There was coming to my apartment twice a week for blood and urine sample. You know, and I did the drug test, and then I also asked for them. Let's do a drug test after the fight. No, they didn't want to do a drug test after the fight.
Really?
Only 2 hours before it.
Really? Wow.
So then you can take whatever you want in that time then. I asked the same for Linares. Let's do a drug test after the fight. And I said to Eddie, tell them I want a drug test after the fight. And they're like, yeah, they've said no. So I goes, tell them I'm not fighting then.
I don't see why you wouldn't want a drug test after the fight, though.
They would only do one 2 hours before, nothing afterwards. And I broke Linares' rib in the 9th round. He masked that very well, didn't he? But you never, like, I'm not saying he was, but you the
question
fact
it,
is,
though.
you never know.
Yeah.
That's the difference. You never know if he is or isn't.
That's the annoying thing, isn't it?
He could be on some sort of stimulant in there that's, you know, gets him through, and he might not be, but you just never know.
Is there no
why
rule
would you not want to do one 2 hours after the?
Yeah,
why would you not want to do one after the fight?
Yeah.
Because that's when you need to check your
Well,
system.
we did with football. They'd come in, you check. So basically, they pick your squad number.
Yeah.
Your squad number. You'd walk off the pitch. This bloke would fucking follow you.
Oh yeah.
What's a toilet for you? What
So
urine sample?
it'd stand like that and be going.
Watch
Just obviously you could go out and dip it in the toilet.
I've had them in my changing rooms before the fight.
Yeah.
And they're watching me.
Yeah.
And they're watching me. I just need the toilet, mate.
Yeah.
I've got a fight coming up. You know, I need a number 2.
Yeah.
Little last nerves and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're in the
toilet.
They're in the toilet with
know,
you
tell
while
me
you're
about
sat on the toilet, and I'm like,
I can't do it
mate,
because
this
she
is
stood in front of me.
disgusting. Can you just step outside
Step
the room?
outside,
What
open
do
up.
you think I'm going to do in this room?
Yeah.
And it's like, but
Same
like
with
following
football,
me
yeah.
around. But why is that just me?
Yeah.
Like the majority of the fighters, they don't even test. They don't even look at.
Yeah.
Why are you on me all the time?
Yeah.
Because I'm a higher name. But there's loads of fighters out there that you've not even looked at.
Yeah.
Why are you just looking at me? But I was all the way from the Olympics. 2 years before the Olympics, I had to give to tell someone where I'm sleeping every single night of every day. Right. And if they turned up at that location in the morning and I wasn't there, I'd get a strike. So I was on that 2 years before the Olympics till the day I retired.
Wow.
Like, giving them. Who else has to do this in boxing?
Yeah,
There's about 5 people, and I was on that one of them.
Yeah.
And none of the others ones that was even on it. So why was I on it and the rest weren't? I think they should all be on it. But that's when I look at boxers and I just think, if you cheat in boxing, you should be banned for life.
Yeah.
These people die in that ring.
Yeah.
I think you should be banned for life.
Yeah.
And if you're cheating, I just think I've lost all respect for them if they cheat.
So for a young fighter then wanting to come through now, knowing what you know and all your experience in boxing, what would you tell a young fighter wanting to be a boxer in the care for advice and warn about things that they wouldn't see coming?
I think just get a good team around you. I think that's the most important thing. Get a good team around you. And boxing's a hard sport, really is. There's not many that do well at it and succeed, and you're taking punches to the head. So make sure you can rather sell a lot of tickets so you can knock people out.
Yeah.
Because that'll certainly help you. Because it's an hard old slog. It's a lonely road as well, boxing. So yeah, there's a lot of other jobs you can do. What you can still earn good money and actually enjoy your life doing it. Yeah.
So that's nice transition. Speaking of other jobs, what you can do, mate, after boxing and earn doing it, is like I said, it's been made, publicly that you're going for, Mayor of Hull.
Yeah.
And I think listening to
East Yorkshire.
Yeah, and East Yorkshire. And I think listening to your story, and I totally agree, I'm not just saying it, but I think the experience build up to here today, this is why this pod's great, is no one has seen this, the character you are and the great person you are. So what made you make that decision, Luke, first and foremost, to go for Mayor of Hull? And look, I know that also it's part of, you can explain it better here. Is it also representing the Reform UK party as well with Nigel Farage?
Yes, it is. Yeah, I'm representing Reform UK, but I wasn't doing it. Nothing really to do with politics. It was a conversation I was having with my friend. Even though I am dragged into the world of politics, whether I like it or not. But the only reason why I stood there doing it is because my friend started talking about the mayor's role, and I jokingly said, "Wouldn't that be some story?" I said, "The people of Hull and East Yorkshire supported me my whole career. I'd never forget the day I came back into Hull from the Olympics, and I was met by 20,000 people of Hull in Hull city centre. And I just thought, wouldn't it be nice to give back to the community?" I said, "That'd be some story, wouldn't it?" Just jokingly. And then my mate went, "Oh, would you be serious?" So I just laughed it off, didn't think too much about it. Anyhow, then it all turned on its head pretty quick. Next thing I know, I'm in London having lunch with Nigel and some of the team and that, and asking me to see if I want to run for mayor. It was all very quick. But the only thing that inspired me to step up and said, "You know what, yeah, I'll do it," is to give back to my community. That's it. It's to finally put the people first, because the leaders that are in charge currently, they've give very little to the people, and they've done nothing. But yet again, two of them are standing here, going for the mayor's role, asking for your vote yet again. But they've done nothing for the people.
Would you think they're giving false promises, the other candidates, all right?
Yeah, yes, 100%. But they've done nothing for the people. So I just think if I can stand there and try and give back to as much as possible to the community and actually put the people first for once, and have one of their own that stands there, that they can rely on, and me try and do the best job I can do for them. It's the only reason why I stand here, and a lot of feedback that I've had is really positive, but then you get some negative as well, and name calling and things like that. But my sole intention and passion is only to try and stand up and give my community a fighting chance for the changes that they want to make, and see where everybody's taxpayer money's being spent, to make sure it's being spent for what the people want. I believe Mike Ross, the Hull City Council guy, it's him that advised to rise everyone's council taxes. But for what? It's not justified. The roads are a mess. There's potholes. There's things need doing before people can say, "Oh yeah, I'd be happy to pay that now." And I just feel like I just want to stand and make myself accountable to the people. Listen, it's a massive responsibility, and it's a hell of a lot of weight on my shoulders having everybody's concerns on me. But I just want to fight for them now.
Because I'm going to ask,
and that inspires me to do something. If I can directly impact the people's lives where I grew up and in East Yorkshire, and make a positive change and impact on them, that's what I'm about.
Yeah, brilliant. Because I think what you've said earlier is, this is why it's good to come to these questions now, is Hull's giving you so much. built the character who you are today. So when I think I heard you say previously that you feel like the people of Hull have been let down previously and they deserve better. What is better for them then?
Well, fighting for change, what they actually want, to be accountable for where everybody's taxpayer money is going and what it's getting spent on, to make the changes they want. Does it have to come to a crisis for them to do some potholes on a road? Like, what are the people asking for? What they're screaming out for? Have someone there that can actually listen to them and try and do what they want. Like, Hull's got one of the highest unemployments in the country. So, like, where's the investment? Why ain't the red tape being cut so the investors can come into Hull and create jobs for people? Like, every other shop is derelict. It's just like, come on, why is it being ran the way it's been running? Like, we need investment. We need to create jobs. We've got one of the longest A&E waiting times in the country. 1 in 3 houses in Hull are living in fuel poverty. 1 in 5 in East Yorkshire. That's not good enough. Like, we're at the bottom. There's only one way in and one way out of Hull and East Yorkshire. We need to look after our own.
And how's it work when you become mayor? Do you select the team who you're going to be working with, or is there already a selective team that you'll be part of and telling them what you want it to happen?
The combined authorities have organised something. I don't know how they've organised something already without actually the mayor being elected to get involved in that.
Because it's a new role, isn't it?
It's a brand new role that was brought into government in November 24. But the mayor's job role is like looking after infrastructure, transportation, development, investment, creating jobs, education and skills. That's the role. So that's it. My only concern is to try and create stuff in this area that can create the people that are living there. I want to make it a good place to live and a great place to work. Like, that's what I want to do.
Because don't you think you'll find the challenges come though, Luke, when you think about it? Like, everything you're saying there, I can tell it's passion, it's belief. But you know, when let's say you get in the door of becoming mayor and then the team's working with you, don't you think you might find frustrations where the things that you want to do is not happening because of laws above as well, and then it puts you in a situation, doesn't it, of telling people what you want to promise but it can't be delivered because of certain... I guess you'd be honest and transparent about that if that was to be the case.
Transparency is key.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to get something done where it'll create X amount of jobs for the people of Hull or in East Yorkshire, where it benefit the community, and X people is stopping me, then I can go online and just say, I really want to try and get this done, but I'm having difficulties. There's a couple of certain people, maybe in the council or whatever else, that are not allowing this to happen. You need to just be transparent with the people. I think that's it, really. Being transparent in like, I'm achieving this, I want this to happen. Does everyone else, are they on the same page? I'm trying to make this happen, but this person's not allowing me to do it.
Do you know what, mate? I believe you.
And that's
it.
Yeah.
I do.
I believe you. Look at it, you do, don't you?
Yeah,
because you like I said previous before these questions, getting up to the point of mayor, you've been there, you've done it all your life being in Hull, and it's like you've never really changed from what you see on the papers during your boxing career to what I see now, which is just a lad who's down to earth, who's like, look, you're a good lad. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're actually a good lad. You genuinely want people to do well. I don't think there's any negative bone about you. When we've been sat downstairs, I've never heard you say one negative thing, mate.
No, I just think that I was saying that to Dino there, and like on social medias and stuff, and if someone's written something negative towards him or about me, and it's just like, we've never written anything negative to anybody on social media, whether we agreed with them or not.
I just block them.
We've never done it. And I just think
the trouble is, you try helping people and then they sit behind the phones slagging you off. It's like we had a conversation in my car on the way down, and we don't want to mention names, but people like slagging you off, but then they probably see you in the gym or the pub or whatever, and they don't say fucking cheap to you. You know what I mean? It's weird, isn't it? It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
But all you're trying to do is trying to help people in one way or the other. Whatever you're promoting, you're just trying to help people, and it just pisses you off.
I'm not here to promote anyone's policies or push it onto anybody. I'm just here to fight for my community.
Yeah. Luke Campbell's here
to do
for people, and
to do the same. to do the job role and make sure it's done properly, correctly, and make sure that everyone's happy. That's it, really. It's I'm not here for anything else.
What's one thing people don't know about Luke Campbell then?
I don't know. I'm quite a shy person.
It reminds me of Josh. Quite reserved, quiet.
Yeah,
I'm a gobshite, you know what I mean? It makes no difference to me, but
no, I'm very quiet.
yeah.
I don't like to make a scene.
Yeah.
I like to go under the radar, just because I'd say I'm quite a shy person. I'm much better in person than I come across on social media. That's for sure. Because I don't know how to express myself to my phone.
Yeah.
But when you get me in front of me and it's one-on-one,
You're all right.
You're confident in yourself, though, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm confident. Yeah, that's for sure. I'm definitely confident. But yeah, just probably shy person. Yeah.
So if we put it into boxing perspective, life's a game. I always say, and you're fighting different rounds in life. So what round are you in right now then in your life?
Oh, God knows.
What's this? What chapter's this?
Don't want to say. I don't want to say. I don't want to put a number on it. You know.
Yeah.
I don't want to put a number on where I am. But weirdly, you said that. I always used to when I used to go to the boxing gym, St Paul's. There was loads of steps going up, and then, as I was walking up the steps, I'd say, "Where is my career now on the steps?"
Yeah.
But you said earlier as well,
how far to get to the top. But yeah.
You didn't even imagine, like you said, to get Olympic gold, and you just tick the boxes, and it just happened, didn't it? So I guess you're just in this position now, aren't you, in your passion and your beliefs?
Just see what happens. Like you say, it's the 1st of May for people to vote. If they vote me in, I'll do the best job I can do for them, and that's all you can do, innit?
Yeah. And listen, get your vote.
And if it doesn't work out,
get your vote.
Get my vote.
I
live 20 minutes away from him. He gets my vote.
Yeah, believe it. You can wear the.
I wear the cloak.
Yeah. Before we wrap this up and do the quick fire questions, how would you like to be remembered, Luke? Like, especially for your kids, how would you like the kids to look at Daddy and Dad?
Just as the best mate. I'm the only man in their life that wants to see them do better than me.
Yeah.
You know, I want them to be happy. I want them to be successful in their own rights, and just be happy. You know, all I'm here to try and do is to guide them and to listen to them and have fun with them. I love going away and spending time with my family. You know, and it's the family you create is more important than the family you leave. And someone said that to me a few years ago, and I'm like, wow. As obviously as much as my mum and dad, I love them to bits, but my kids are everything to me. You know.
Yeah, listen, we all go through different journeys, don't we? Do you know, I let my kids down, do you know, but now you see my you know, probably Jordan as well, they're my best mates, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's great
to
see.
You hang about with them now. He's 26 tomorrow, and Josh is 31, but they are become my best mates, but they know that I'll always have the back, I'll always have the corner, even though I have let them down in the past, getting divorced.
We all make mistakes.
Of course we do, yeah, of course we do. But the trouble is, I can look at them in the mirror now and say, I have provided for you all my life what I give, or what I could afford. Do you know what I mean? And things that that we've had regrets in, you can't look back, you've got to look fucking forward. You know what I mean?
It's funny, innit? Because mine's Brock's 5, and even at 5, I've told this to many people on pod, mate. If you ask him what it means, like, what are you? He'll say, I'm a Donnelly. You say, what does it mean to be a Donnelly? It means I'm strong, it means I'm ambitious, and I can achieve anything. And that's why I always instill. I tell him all the time, I say, mate, you're going to be better than me. Like, I've done nothing. Like, this is just me allowing you to see where you can go. Isn't it crazy how you just naturally do that? Yeah. I always say there's a book called The Go-Giver. If you read books, read it. I think you're a go-giver. So when I read the book, it just aligned me, and I thought, someone recommended it to me, and I thought, I'll read it. And basically, it's just someone who don't always look for receiving. They just want to give because they feel like it's going to make a positive impact on the person they're giving it to, and a lasting impact. But you do it without thinking about it. Okay. And I get that from you. It's like I get from you is that you feel like without having to give, you just want to give back to others and help others. Do you know what I mean?
I definitely feel like that.
But just naturally, Luke, do you know what I mean? It just happens.
Yeah, I've put myself out there now. Yeah. Just to help others, the best way I can. So, and there's no turning back.
Good luck to you, mate. Listen, good luck to you. I hope you're going to smash it. If you're watching this and you can vote, please go ahead and please vote Luke, because I believe you, mate. I believe you. Look, wrapping this up, your favourite part, quick fire questions, bud. Dino, you're going to ask the first one. You love this question, don't you?
Yeah.
Quick fire, light-hearted, Luke.
We know. Obviously, you've been on Dancing on Ice, but my bucket list is to go in the jungle. I don't know why. Probably.
That's why this is why we put the bushes around it.
This is why they put the bushes.
I got offered the jungle.
Did you? Oh, I'd love to get offered.
You didn't?
No, I took Dancing on Ice instead.
Ah, did you? Well, I went for an audition on Dancing on Ice, and Ryan Sarbottom got it instead of me, and then I went for an interview for the jungle, and Fatima Whitbread got in instead of me. So
he's upset about that because he tells everyone.
I am. I'm devastated. So if you watch it, no. But if you did go in the jungle and you got to the final three, and you're having that meal at the end, what's your starter? What's your main? What's your dessert? And what do you down it with?
Question. What's my starter?
Don't forget you're a Thai boxer now. You can eat what you fucking like.
Yeah. I like the meatball procession.
Right.
What's it called? Do you know when I go into the restaurant now, they know automatically what I want.
I said that, yeah.
Which is lovely. Probably have a nice steak with some fries.
He's a whole lad,
He's a
peppercorn sauce with some
onion rings and whatnot.
No, like just like skinny fries and or something like that. That'd go down lovely.
Dessert?
And dessert, I would probably go New York cheesecake or something like that. So
Just will it down with
a glass of red.
All right. Any particular red, or is it just any?
Just some, I don't know.
Any red will do.
Yeah.
Rioja or something like that. That was always, wasn't it?
Yeah.
One fight you wish you could go back and do differently if you could?
The Mendy fight, the first Mendy fight. I should have never got in the ring that night.
Why is that? Good fight, that. You obviously won the rematch at Wembley Stadium.
I had a virus. My weight was out. I had a virus. I was overtrained. Just fucking hell, so many things. I should have just never been in the ring that night. So that one.
And you got the rematch, though, and you won that at Wembley.
Yeah, I won the rematch. Comfortable on points.
Yeah. Good fight, Mendy, though. To be fair,
he was a beast.
Yeah, well.
He was relentless.
French lad, wasn't he?
Unbelievable defence, never been stopped.
Yeah.
He's still going now.
Yeah.
He was a beast.
Go to karaoke song.
What's it called? I like the Benny King version.
Stand by me.
Yeah.
Go on then, Gizmo edition.
Nobody ever does it. Nobody ever does
Couldn't
it.
pay me enough.
You did it. No, you did his edition,
did it,
and so did Carlton. To be fair, Palmer did. If we dive into your Netflix account, what's Luke watching, or iPlayer, any of those?
What series you watching out and out?
Do you know what? I'm not actually watching nothing at the moment. I just put on. I started watching Snatch the other night.
All right, yeah, the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just, I thought I'm going to go to bed in 20 minutes. So I just started a movie and watched 20 minutes of it and then turned it off and went to bed.
What kind of films are you into? Do you have a go-to or just anything really? Whatever catches your eye?
No, I don't really have a go-to.
Yeah,
just whatever are sort of catchy.
Yeah. Do you watch? Have you seen Stranger Things?
I started watching it for maybe like 3 episodes in and then just I couldn't get into
it's like
it.
once you get into it after a while, once you've seen first season, we started watching it against new ones coming out. It's we like that. It's good.
Gangs of London's just back on now, season 3.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Best advice you've ever received?
Don't take life too serious, because like you say, in 100 years' time, all the problems, what you thought was problems, are problems, and it's like. And then another thing as well, you can rather stand from the sidelines and watch life go by, or you can get involved and play.
Have a go, yeah.
Yeah, you can get on the pitch and have a play, have a go.
Yeah.
And I noticed that in the last 4 years of me being retired, and I thought, that sticks out more than anything. Just been watching from the sidelines for the past 4 years, watching everybody graft and do the thing, and I thought, I'm just watching.
Do you like when we spoke again in the car? Do you still suffer after football, don't I? And do you suffer now? I know that we think about our dads and that, but do you suffer like with anxiety? I've had 3 or 4 anxiety
anxiety hits,
Yeah.
which is weird. Like people say, oh, never in boxing.
No.
Never ever during my career did I ever suffer from anxiety or anything
No,
like that.
I
Even though I was
football.
always on stress and
Yeah.
fight and flight mode and things like that, I never suffered anything from anxiety or anything. But afterwards, I've had a couple occasions. I always try and figure everything out.
Right.
Why? And I try and figure out why.
Why are you feeling the same
What's the
way?
reason? I always try and I need something for that reason why it's happening. But I thought, oh, maybe because I've got low blood sugar. I thought, oh, maybe because that can cause anxiety. So I thought every time now I maybe feel like anxiety, I'm gonna eat. I'm just eating more.
Right. Yeah. No, I've noticed
I
this
ain't had
morning.
one since.
Look, Luke,
Brilliant, mate.
before I ask this final question like we ask everyone else, mate, you've been amazing. I think you do literally define greatness. Like when we listen to that story and where you've been and what you're heading and what you're doing is, and even like I said off camera, you are on camera, the same what's been off camera, you're just a down to earth northern lad who wants to do fucking right. Do you know what I mean? For yourself and those around you, and you're passionate, and I love that. And I love, like I said to you down at the cafe earlier, is I love people who step out of the comfort zones, who are not scared to just try something else. And if it fucking works, great. If it doesn't, try something else. Like we said, 100 years from now, none of it matters. You know, this podcast, where it's another podcast in another 100 years or whatever.
Yeah.
So look, final message, and sorry, the final question we ask, and your final message to those listening, those watching, advice in helping them of how they can find their own inner greatness.
Find a passion, and then it'll come to you.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how to work for it, because you've either got to want it or you don't. You know, so as much as you might talk about it, and as much as you might say, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, well, your work could prove that. Your graft will determine where you get. And I'm not saying that everyone works hard, everyone will be successful. I'm not saying that at all, because that's not the truth. But you're 99% more likely to be successful if you're grafting away than not. So, yeah, just find a passion and then run with it.
Nice. Luke Campbell.
Brilliant.
Thank you, mate.
And you made
Top
me
man.
fucking
Top
cry
man.
as well.
Cheers.
Top man.
Nearly started there.
Yeah. Good lad.